Okay, so my topic for tonight is you and your pets, maximizing the benefits of pet therapy in times of pandemic. Okay, so as Dr. Efren has mentioned, because we are celebrating today the World Rabies Day, September 28th, and if I may add, Dr. Efren, I'd like to use this opportunity to celebrate in advance. Okay, October 4 is the World Animal Day. And our patron saint is Saint Francis de Assisi. Kaya October 4 po ang World Animal Day. And this feast aims to increase awareness on the importance of animals and at the same time to improve the welfare of all animals in the world. Okay, my disclosure, I've mentioned, I'm a frustrated veterinary aspirant. And at the same time, as you all know, I'm a founder of the Friend of a Cat Rescuer advocacy group. Okay, so before I proceed, I would just like to have a raise of hands. So I hope you will answer the first question in the poll. So letter A, yes, I have pet. Letter B, I don't have a pet. Letter C, I am planning to get a pet. And letter D, I don't like pets. So you have 10 seconds to key in your answers to the poll.
Do you have a pet?
Yes, I have a dog. I have a pet. He is a dog. And he says woof, 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 woof. Woof, woof.
I have a cat. I have a pet. She is a cat. And she says meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow.
I have a mouse. I have a pet. He is a mouse. And he says squeak, 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 squeak. Squeak, squeak. Woof, woof.
Meow, meow.
Squeak, squeak.
So we have the poll results. So 66% have pets, 20% don't have a pet, 5% is planning to have a pet, and there's a 10% that don't like pets. Okay, thank you for answering our poll. So I hope at the end of my lecture, I'll be able to convince the 10% that answered don't like pets or the remaining 5% that don't have a pet to think of getting one. So the outline of my research, of my lecture is as follows. So I'll be defining some terms, brief you on the history of pet therapy, the effect of pet therapy before and now that we are on a pandemic. And this lecture would not be complete if I won't be discussing about responsible pet ownership and animal advocacy. Okay, so what is a pet? So a pet can be a noun, meaning any domesticated or tamed animal that is kept as a companion and cared for affectionately. So it can also be a person, especially if you cherish that person or that's your favorite. So for those nakapanood ng School Bukol nung kapanahunan namin, so favorite or pet ni Tapia ang isang estudyante ron. Or pwede rin na verb, denoting a thing that one devotes special attention to or feels particularly strong about. Okay, so pinepet, yung mga kasamaan ko sa BG, pet nila ang BTS. Okay? Another thing that we need to differentiate is animal lover and animal advocate. So when we say animal lover, this is a person who feels fondness for animals or a friend to an animal, while an animal welfare advocate promotes humane treatment for all animals and educate the public about the ways that animals are abused, neglected, or mistreated. So they propose ways to improve conditions for animals and teach the public about the proper care of animals. So raise your hand in your own place. Which one are you? Are you an animal lover, or you are also an animal advocate? Okay. So even before the pandemic, the relationship between humans and animals has developed over 1,000 years. Domestication of many species of animals occurred throughout the world as humans and animals found ways to take advantage of their mutual need for food, shelter, and protection. So as human culture evolved, so did our relationship with these animals. Okay? So we rely on the human companion animal relationship, and this journal published in 2020 states that personal pets as well as therapy animals in the hospital setting is the best medicine in curing or helping people recover. So my second poll question, when do you think did pet therapy start? So key in your answers: A, ancient Greek times; B, medieval times; C, Victorian times; and D, Roman times. Okay, so our answer. So 57% says Greek times, 21% medieval, 8% Victorian, and 15% Roman times. Okay, so 57%, okay, that got the answer right. So first to notice that the presence of horses seemed to lift the spirits of seriously ill patients were the Greeks. There aren't many other mentions of animal-assisted therapy after that until the 1600s, when doctors at this point again turned to horses to help improve the mental and physical health of their patients. Noteworthy is in the 1800s when Florence Nightingale observed that even small pets seem to reduce the anxiety in her psychiatric patients. Okay? And in 1933, Sigmund Freud noticed also that every time he brings his dog, Chow Chow, during therapy of his psychiatric patients, this sparked further or hastened the improvement of the psychiatric patients. Okay? So in this timeline history, from then on, okay, from 1933, a lot of advances have already happened in terms of the importance and the benefit that we get from animals. So noteworthy from 1792 up to the present time is here in 1981, wherein this is the first international conference wherein they already recognized that pet therapy does indeed offer hope for helping human suffering. And in 1990, the first international organization was brought people together in order to appreciate and understand the bond of humans and animals. And in 1996, wherein they first published the book on animal-assisted therapy and animal-assisted activities. Okay? So what exactly is pet therapy? Is it the same as pet ownership or having a pet? So pet therapy pala is a guided interaction between an animal and a patient supervised by their trainer. Okay? And the purpose of which of the pet therapy is to help someone recover from illness or cope with a health problem or mental disorder. So pet therapy is synonymous to AAT, which means animal assisted therapy. But pet therapy can be divided into two categories. We have the AAA, AAA, and the AAT. So the AAT, as I've mentioned, is the formal pet therapy, wherein the sessions are structured, the visits are documented, And the visits are considered to be part of the patient's care plan. Individualized stated goals that are and need to be identified for every visit, whereas AAA is more of a casual visit with no treatment goal. The visits are not documented. The visits are not part of the plan of care, and the animals interact with one or more people for comfort or recreation. Another important to know is the AAI, meaning Animal Assisted Interventions, wherein this is an alternative or complementary therapeutic approach that takes advantage of the natural healing ability of time spent with animals. Okay. Now, to help us further differentiate the two between the service animal or AAA, AAA, therapy animal or AAT, and personal pet. So for service animal, is training required? Extensively training to perform specific tasks. So these are the persons who are disabled or blind, okay? So ito yung mga service animals, okay? And then the therapy animals. This has to be screened for temperament and obedience. So there's training required. So for where are they allowed? So therapy animal, of course, only in a non-pet friendly, only allowed in non-pet friendly venues with special permission. And how about service animal? So where they are needed. Okay. For personal pet, of course, with only in selected areas. So selected malls, selected hotels, pwede. Okay. What type of animals? So personal pet, it can be any fish, dog, cat, or snake. Okay. Therapy animals, it could be any also. But for service animals, these are usually the dogs. Okay. Certification, yes, for therapy animals, but for service and personal pet, no need. And the same is true with licensing. So it depends on the locality if they need a certification or not, but therapy animals, definitely yes. So can service animals be pet? No. Therapy animals, pwede. And personal pets, of course, these are your pets. Okay. So my third poll, among these choices, what are the 3 popular therapy pets in descending order or pets, personal pets? Key in your answer. Is it A, dog, cat, bird? Letter B, cat, dog, fish? Letter C, fish, cat, dog? And letter D, fish, bird, dog. Alin ang pinakamarami? Dog ba, cat ba, fish ba? Sunod ng cat or dog or bird? Key in your answers. Okay. Anong poll? Uy, ang sagot ng nakakarami, 95% is dog, cat, bird. 5% cat, dog, fish. Nako, yan din po ang sagot ko. But surprisingly, ang tamang sagot po ay fish, cat, dog. So sa buong mundo, 142 million ang mahilig sa isda, followed by cats and dogs. So yan po ang correct answer, letter C. Okay. So we can talk about therapy if we don't talk first about people. So humans are social creatures with brain functions that we intuitively knew for centuries, but have only begun to recently understand scientifically in modern times. Okay. So pet therapy or service animals can be for elderly, for depression, veterans, stroke, autism. Okay. So these are the most common who avail of pet therapy. So cancer patients who undergo chemotherapy, residents in long-term facilities, chronic heart failure, veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, physical or dental procedures, I've mentioned stroke victims, and people with mental health disorders. So the goals of pet therapy program include, okay, so improve motor skills and joint movement, as well as assisted or independent movement. So increase your self-esteem, verbal communication, social skills, okay, willingness to join in activities, interact with others, and motivate you to exercise. Okay? So how is pet therapy administered. So first and foremost, your doctor will tell the client that aside from the medical and scientific treatment, they could also undergo pet therapy. So here, a trained handler, which is often the owner of the pet, will take the animal to every meeting and work with your doctor, with the doctor and the therapist's direction. And there is a goal, as I mentioned earlier, they need to reach a goal for every session and discuss at the same time proper pet handling once they will undergo pet therapy. Okay. Second, of course, is selection of a suitable animal to fulfill certain requirements. So, dito na checkin kung ano bang animal ang suitable para doon sa case niya, sa sakit niya. Okay? I-check kung fit ba yung animal, may certification ba, and the like. Okay? So, having pet therapy is not all risk-free. So, there are also disadvantages. Okay? So, we could have zoonotic infections, okay? Safety and sanitation, pwede. Or the patient can have allergy or asthma to animal dander. Pwedeng magkaroon ng psychological and emotional costs due to pet bereavement. For example, ito na yung matagal na niyang kasama sa therapy niya and then biglang namatay. Or tapos na yung therapy niya, kailangan na tapos na yung therapy, hindi niya mapalet go yung animal. Or pwede rin magkakaroon ng human injury kung nakagat, okay, or nakalmot. And hindi rin naman spared ang animals. Pwede yung human, pwedeng mag-suffer ng injury or abuse from the patient itself. Okay? Now, how about the other benefits of the animal-assisted therapy? Okay? So, pet therapy can be used in many different ways. Defined objectives are an important part of therapy, and the progress, of course, will be recorded and tracked at structured sessions. Pet therapy builds on pre-existing human-animal bond. Okay? Interacting with a friendly pet can help many physical and mental issues. It can also help reduce your blood pressure, improve overall cardiovascular health. It can also release endorphins that produce a calming effect that can help you alleviate your pain, reduce stress, and improve your overall psychological state. So just like fitness, okay, pet therapy also releases hormones, the endorphin, oxytocin, prolactin, dopamine, and phenylacetic acid that will stimulate you to have a good mood or calming effect and reducing cortisol level. Okay. So other pet therapy benefits include, so you're happier, you're lessening your depression, you can improve your outlook in life by looking at your pets. Okay? You decrease loneliness, lalo na ngayon na isolated tayo dahil sa pandemic. If you're bored, then you can play with your pets, reduce anxiety, as I mentioned earlier, or you can help children be empathic and nurturing skills. So there's an article that tells that reading books to kids with cats present improves their learning, okay? Improving the relationship between you and your healthcare provider, okay? So as I mentioned earlier, the biochemistry regarding this is like the same with fitness. So spending time with animals can increase the hormones, the endorphins, prolactins, dopamine, okay, in the body, and at the same time decreases cortisol, because we all know in periods of stress, or there's like this pandemic, we are all stressed, our cortisol levels are high. But when we are with pets, for unknown exact mechanism, okay, these hormones are released. So thereby, this would decrease the cortisol level. So at the same time, these domestic animals respond to human behavior and emotions, reflecting or mirroring back both the positive and negative actions. Okay? So this is the hormones that are released when we are with our pets. Okay. Of course, this lecture would not be complete if I'll not mention the benefits of owning a pet in terms of the cognitive, of the developmental milestones of healthy or healthy children from 1 month old up to 18 years old. So in this slide, we can show, I will be showing you that they did a systematic review of evidence from 1960 up to June 2016 of publications that might provide scientific evidence on the importance or improvement of children having pets. So they reviewed 2,970 publications, and out of the 44, they trimmed down to 22 journals that were reviewed. So let me walk you through this harvest plot. Okay, so these 3 columns or 4 columns. So the first column would be the outcome that they assess. So the emotional outcome, the behavior, cognitive, educational, and social. And the second column are the articles or journals that favors pet ownership. So the blue ones are the articles that has statistical significance, and the striped blue ones are the ones that did not show any confidence interval or p-values. And the third column will show us articles that did not show any difference whether there were pets in terms of development. Okay, but let me start with the social acquisition, social skills. So in the articles that they reviewed, whether you have a pet or you don't have a pet, it did not have any effect on the social development of children. But noteworthy are the following slides. In terms of emotional health outcomes, so anxiety, depression, self-esteem, loneliness, so making use of qualitative questionnaire or observational cross-sectional survey questionnaire, they found out that having pets, pet ownership, okay, these children showed wide range of emotional health benefits from having a pet. Okay, so dog-owning children were reported to be less naughty, less argumentative, so were behave and cooperative as reported by their mothers 1 month after acquiring a pet as compared to non-dog owners. Okay, how about behavior? So in terms of behavior, they found out that having a pet has a potential to foster the development of autonomous characteristics such as responsibility and self-reliance. So natuturuan silang maging responsable. And parents showed higher scores on the reports on self-reliance, independent decision skills in strongly bonded pet-owning children as compared to weak or moderately bonded pet-owning children and not pet-owning children. So kumbaga yung level of attachment, mas mataas ang score nila kapag mas maganda, mas tight ang bonding nila as compared doon sa hindi masyadong nakikiband or hindi nag-own ng pets. Okay? How about in terms of cognitive development and educational achievement? So again, you can see that these journals favor developing empathy and emotions, being good at school-related tasks. So the pets provided children with positive experiences and a sense of feeling good. So children between 3 to 6 years old scored higher verbal intelligence scores as compared to those who are not pet-owning children. So in general, we could say that having pets is not only useful for those patients with illness, whether organic or mental problems, but also in fostering development in children. Okay. Okay. So since we are now on the 6th month of the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of cases diagnosed are on the rise, especially here in Baguio. So is the distress of all of us. I'm not exempted. So there have been multifarious reasons for feeling anxious and dejected. Our routine work, lifestyle has been disrupted. So the lockdown, limited availability of essentials, okay? We fear that we will contract the virus or we can pass it on to our loved ones. We are all impacted. So the negative news that we see in social media, in television. So these all give us stress and negative emotions that are experienced. So when we feel all of this sadness, loneliness, negativity, it stimulates our brain, the hypothalamus, for the alarm system to be set off. And this in turn would stimulate our adrenal glands to release the hormones adrenaline and cortisol. So that's the reason why cortisol is high in stress, period of stress. But good thing, pets, they are here to stay. And people have found out that with pets, the pandemic is more bearable, okay? So every day we need something that would lift our spirits. So the sunshine, the good weather, and looking at our pets is one of them. And as I mentioned earlier, the companionship and interaction with pets would increase our levels of not only oxytocin, but also other hormones such as endorphin. And this in turn would lessen or decrease the level of cortisol, which is the stress hormone. Okay? So 15 minutes of being with your pet, okay, is already therapeutic. It can radically improve your health. Okay? So I hope we spend time with them. Okay. So how do animals help us during the COVID-19 pandemic? So these provide company and comfort in the face of social isolation and high anxiety. And as I mentioned earlier, because of the COVID pandemic, a lot of us or some of us, you see them posting to social media of feeds flooded with photos and videos of their pets, of their baking, of their plantology, yung mga ganon. Okay, so I'm no exemption. I haven't been posting much, but when it comes to my pets, okay, and my fitness, I post. This was 2 weeks ago when I ran with my kitten, Robin. So they did a survey in the internet and what it has been like having animal companions with them during the pandemic. So these are the common answers. They are comforting, feel good, lifesaver, keeping me sane. So this is in the internet survey. But how about our very own PPS Norlu Corner members? So headed by our dynamic president, Dr. Efrain Balanag, who is also a dog lover. Okay. And I did also my own personal survey to some friends. And if I may share what their thoughts are for the pets and their pet and the pandemic. So we all know Dr. Corazon Lopez, thank you very much for answering. And her parrot, which is Chiki. So if I may read, big help talaga sila Malu. She kept me grounded all these years. I'm aware that the residents, interns, and clerks feel that I'm distant, cold, and strict in the hospital. But little do they know that at home, I'm obedient and submissive to this little creature. So different from the person I project outside my home. So pareho kami ni Dr. Pinky. Kapag sa hospital, dragon po ako. But when I hear the meowing of my cats, I am tame. And so also, pets bring out the soft spots in every person. If I may add, Malu, so ang dami pa niya, no? If there's one of those things that kept me through this pandemic, Chiki has a certain schedule which I follow and has somehow retained the old normalcy in this new normal. Thank you, Dr. Pinky. And meron pang iba. Ito talaga, dynamically, ang dami niyang memorabilia ng kanyang pet. So, it's Dr. Therese Tolentino and her family who they already consider Pachi as one of the family member kasi siya na si Pachi Tolentino. So what does Pachi mean? Ted, if I may read. P meaning playful and warm. A, adorable, awesome, and sweet. T, teaches us to be childlike, tempers our moods. C, companion anywhere. Rounds, walking, long trips, Molly. And I, important member of our family. So Doc Toles, Doc Ted, Ray, and Raven loves going home because of Pachi Boy. Thanking God always for this loving bunso. So very sweet. And of course, our moderator, Dr. Claire Urbano Imbisan. I am both a cat and dog person. They are part of the family who needs love and attention. Caring for them teaches responsibility and compassion to my sons, and they are stress busters for me. As you can see, I am the parang God mother, or this is a rescued cat na pinasa ko po ang text kay Dr. Claire. And our next speaker, of course, Dr. Expedito Yala, is also an animal lover. So sa aso niya, pandemic or not pandemic, she makes me smile with a smiley. Okay. So the coronavirus pet adoption boom is reducing stress. But if I may advise, please adopt, don't shop. Save a life. Okay? Marami po tayo diyang mga animal centers waiting to be adopted. So just, I think last month, there was a post from the Baguio Animal Center that they have to put down, I think, 50 dogs kasi walang mag-adopt. So marami naman po doon sa dog center or doon sa local center nyo where you can adopt and save a life. Okay? So, guidelines for responsible pet ownership, this is basic, no? That before you get a pet or you're planning to get a pet, always remember that it is a commitment of yourself to your pet's entire life. You should select what pet you need or what fits you and your lifestyle. Recognize that you will use your time and money in caring for these pets, and decide only on the type and the number of pets which you can provide appropriate care and safe environment. Okay, so there are a lot of guidelines. Okay, so you have to take care of their needs. They are properly identified. You adhere to local ordinances. You help manage overpopulation. So just 2 weeks ago, pinaspay and neuter ko na po ang aking mga pusa. Okay, have a clear relationship and with your veterinarian and in bringing your pets. Okay, and there are others. Okay, exercise, care of your plant, pag-aalis ka, waste disposal. So these are the things you have to think of before getting a pet. Okay, and always remember their lives are in our hands. We are their guardians. We are their voice. So we have to speak up and be heard and advocate for the Animal Bill of Rights. Okay? So what do these famous politician, artists, okay, author, writer, who are they? So this is Ernest Hemingway, this is John Kennedy, this is Charlize Theron, si Leonardo DiCaprio, si Hart, si Lovie Po, si Seo Kang-joon, and our favorite, si BTS, si V. So this, like you and me, they are also okay, animal lovers. Okay, so si Ernest Hemingway, if I may, gumawa siya ng libro, The Cats in the Rain. Okay, and he has 54 cats. Okay, this is John Kennedy. He brought a lot of animals in the White House, from hamsters, dog, cat, wolf, pony. Okay, and also Charlize Theron. Si Leonardo DiCaprio, he founded the Earth Alliance group. Si Hart, we all know na she has a heart for aspens as well as Lovie Po. And my favorite Korean actor, Seo Kang-joon, is also a cat lover, and his cats names are Doki, Oki, and Kiki. And for those BTS fans, we all know this is V and his dog Yuntan. So these people are animal lovers, but majority of them are also animal welfare advocates. Okay, so all of us are blessed, okay, because we're still alive and we have work and we're able to eat. But please, if you have spare, or if you want to help us welfare of animals, please donate and help save our shelter animals, because these welfare centers or cat rescuers or dog rescuers, we rely on donations for treating, rehabilitating, and feeding and saving all of these animals. Okay? So here in Baguio, I'm a member of the Baguio Cat Lovers Group, and at the same time of the Baguio Benguet Cats for Adoption or Foster. Okay? So from being a cat lover in 2000, when I was still a child, but I got my cat after fellowship in 2003 into becoming a cat Advocate. So this was my post last week when I rescued a cat.
He likes to hide when the rain comes. Looks weary-eyed if I play dumb. So nonchalant.
Okay, so the 3 slides that I showed you is my journey from cat lover to cat advocate. So those are the cats that I've rescued, and some of them are not in the pictures that we've given a permanent loving home. We took the vets, cared for their health needs. Okay, so as key points in ending my lecture, pet ownership may be beneficial to a child and growing children in acquiring emotional, cognitive, behavioral, educational, and social development, whether they are they sick or not. But personal pets and pet therapy animals provide emotional support, add comfort, and aid in the recovery of hospitalized patients. Okay, science has already proven that. Okay, but always remember, animal presence in the hospital can also pose minimal risk to families, patients, staff. But it's always important that policies and guidelines should be in place. For us in the Philippines, I don't think we have at the moment here in Baguio the animal-assisted therapy. Okay, so the power of pet therapy can only happen, okay, if there is a strong bond, or there is you actively use the human-animal interaction, and you recognize that pet attachment is more important than just pet ownership itself. Okay, so much so if we treat our pets as family members. Okay, so I hope with this short lecture, or I was able to educate you on the benefits of pet therapy. At the same time, open your eyes and your heart, and as well as your pocket, to save a life. And if you can, donate now to animal welfare societies, or to my very own friend of a cat rescuer advocacy with GCash 0917-706-5788. So for any donation, this will be used to save our cats. And thank you so much for listening and for your donation. God bless you all.